I sat in my rocking chair, the one my husband carved before he passed, when my son Nathan strode into my living room, his suit crisp and his smile sharp. "Mom, you're 72, he said, leaning against the mantel. "Time to sort your estate. I'll handle everything." His tone was smooth, like he'd rehearsed it. I nodded, my hands folded, but my heart sank. I'd raised Nathan alone after Tom died, pouring my savings into his college, his first car, his dreams. Now he acted like my farm, my antiques, my life's work were already his. "I'm not gone yet," I said, my voice soft but firm. He laughed, brushing it off. "You know I'll inherit it all." My fingers tightened on the chair's arms. He didn't see me. Eleanor, the woman who'd built this life from scratch. The air smelled of my lavender soap, but Nathan's words left a bitter taste. I smiled, hiding my hurt. He thought he'd won before the game started, but I had a plan, one he'd never see coming. The farmhouse creaked around me, whispering strength. I wasn't done yet. Nathan left that evening, his car kicking up dust on my gravel drive. I sat at my kitchen table, the will I'd drafted years ago in front of me. It named Nathan as sole heir, farm, savings, antiques, everything. But his words echoed, "I'll inherit it all." No pleas, no gratitude, just certainty. I'd given him everything, $50,000 for college, a down payment for his condo, yet he saw me as a stepping stone. My chest ached, not from age, but betrayal. I called my lawyer, Ms. Harper, her voice warm on the phone. "Eleanor, what's wrong?" I told her about Nathan's visit, his assumption. She paused. "You can change the will." My heart raced. I thought of the community center in town, struggling to keep its doors open. Kids went there, painting, reading, dreaming. Kids like I'd once been. I'd volunteered there for years, seen their smiles. "Can I leave it to them?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "Come tomorrow." I hung up, the kitchen quiet except for the clock's tick. Nathan thought he owned my legacy. He was wrong. I'd rewrite it for me for those kids. Miss Harper's office smelled of coffee and old books. She slid a new will across her desk, her glasses glinting. "This leaves the farm, savings, and antiques to the Willow Creek Community Center," she said. I nodded, my hand steady. "And Nathan?" I asked. She smiled. "Nothing, unless you change your mind." I didn't. I signed, the pen scratched loud in my ears. Back home, Nathan called. "I'm coming over tomorrow," he said. "We need to list the farm." My stomach twisted. He was already planning to sell my home, my memories of Tom, our horses, our fields. "Sure," I said, keeping my voice light. I didn't tell him about the will. I spent the evening in my attic, sorting antiques, Tom's carvings, my mother's quilts. Each piece held a story, not Nathan's to claim. The community center's kids deserved them, deserved a place to grow. I found a photo of Nathan as a boy, smiling in my garden. My heart stung, but I set it aside. He'd chosen greed over love. Outside, the stars shone bright, urging me on. I wasn't just a mother. I was Eleanor, and I'd choose my legacy. Nathan arrived the next day, a realtor trailing him. "This place could fetch $500,000, the realtor said, eyeing my fields. I poured coffee, my hands calm. It's not for sale, I said. Nathan laughed sharp. Mom, you can't stay here forever. I'll take care of it. His words cut, but I smiled. We'll see. He didn't notice my tone, too busy texting. I called Miss Harper later, asking about the community center. They're struggling, she said. Your gift could save them. I pictured the kids, Lila, with her shy smile, painting sunflowers, Max, reading adventure books. They needed a future more than Nathan needed another condo. That night, I found Nathan's old report cards in a drawer, his childish handwriting promising to make Mom proud. Where was that boy? I tucked them away, my heart heavy but sure. The farmhouse's walls creaked, holding me close. Nathan thought he could take everything, but I was rewriting the story. The community center was my choice, my legacy. I wasn't angry, just ready. The moon glowed outside, soft and steady like my resolve. He'd learn soon enough and it would shake him. I started gathering proof, knowing Nathan wouldn't accept the will quietly. In my desk, I found bank statements, $30,000 I'd lent him for his condo, never repaid. Letters he'd sent, promising to handle the farm after I was gone. Each was evidence of his greed. I called my friend Clara, who ran the community center. Eleanor, you'd really give it all to us? She asked, her voice shaky. Yes, I said. For the kids, she cried, telling me about broken easels, empty bookshelves. I promised to visit. At home, Nathan dropped by, his smile too bright. I got a buyer interested, he said. I sipped my tea, calm. The farm's not yours to sell. He frowned. What's that mean? I shrugged, letting him stew. After he left, I sorted more antiques, photographing each for Clara. A quilt, a carved horse, pieces of my life for kids who needed hope. The farmhouse smelled of cedar, grounding me. Nathan thought he'd won, but I was building something bigger. The community center's lights glowed in my mind, a beacon. I'd make sure those kids shone, even if Nathan didn't. Clara showed me around the community center, its walls covered in kids' drawings but peeling paint. Lila hugged me, her paint-stained hands leaving smudges on my sweater. We're getting new books? She asked. I nodded, my throat tight. Soon. Back home, I found an email from Nathan. Mom, I'm hiring a lawyer. You're not thinking straight. My hand shook, but not from fear. He thought he could bully me, like when he'd demand my car keys as a teen. I called Miss Harper, who laughed. He's got no case. Your will is ironclad. I spent the evening organizing evidence, bank statements, his emails, my loan receipts. Nathan wasn't just greedy, he was reckless, assuming I'd stay quiet. I wasn't that Eleanor anymore. I visited the center again, bringing cookies like I used to. Max read me his story, his eyes bright. These kids were my why. The farmhouse's porch creaked under my steps, the night air cool. Nathan's threats didn't scare me, they fueled me. I'd protect my legacy, not for revenge, but for love. The stars above whispered Mom's strength, and I listened. Nathan's lawyer, Mr. Vance, called, his voice slick. Your son's concerned about your capacity, Eleanor. He wants a meeting. I laughed. Tell him to come himself. I hung up, my heart steady. I drove to the community center, where Clara showed me a crumbling roof. Your gift could fix this, she said. I promised it would. At home, I found Nathan's old baby shoes in a box, tiny and worn. I'd carried him through fevers, failures, dreams. Where was that boy? I set the shoes aside, my resolve firm. Miss Harper sent me a draft of the will's public reading, set for next week. Invite everyone, I said. Let it be clear. I emailed friends, neighbors, the center's staff. Nathan texted, "Stop this, Mom. It's embarrassing." I didn't reply. I sorted more antiques, packing them for the center. A carved clock, a silver locket, each a piece of me for kids like Lila. The farmhouse smelled of dust and memory, but I felt alive. Nathan thought he could claim my life. He'd learn I was choosing who carried it forward, and it wasn't him. The reading was set at the community center, a small room packed with chairs. I invited the town, friends, neighbors, Clara's staff. Nathan arrived, his suit perfect, his smile tight. "What's this, Mom?" he asked, eyeing the crowd. I smiled. "You'll see." Miss Harper stood at a podium, her voice clear. I sat by Clara, Lila on my lap, Max beside me. Nathan leaned forward, confident, assuming he'd hear his name. Miss Harper read, "I, Eleanor Marie Brooks, leave my farm, savings, and antiques to the Willow Creek Community Center for the children's programs." The room gasped. Nathan's face went white. "What?" he shouted, standing. Miss Harper continued, unmoved, listing the $100,000 savings, the farm's deed, the antique's value. Nathan turned to me, eyes wild. "You can't do this." I met his gaze. I did. The crowd murmured, some clapping. Clara hugged me, tears falling. Lila whispered, "Is this for us?" I nodded, my heart full. Nathan stormed out, the door slamming. I stayed, the kid's smiles brighter than his anger. The farmhouse waited for me, but this was my home now, these kids, this choice. Nathan called that night, his voice shaking. "You're giving everything to strangers?" I sat on my porch, the stars bright. "Not strangers, kids who need it," I said. He cursed, then hung up. I didn't flinch. Clara called next, her voice warm. "The kids made you a card." I drove to the center, where Lila handed me a drawing of a farmhouse, kids playing in the fields. "That's you," she said, pointing to a smiling figure. My eyes stung. Back home, I found Nathan's childhood drawings in a trunk. His stick figure family, me, Tom, him. He'd been my world, but he'd chosen greed. I packed the drawings away, my heart heavy but sure. Miss Harper emailed. Nathan was contesting the will, claiming I wasn't sound. I laughed. He didn't know me at all. I gathered more evidence, my bank records, his unpaid loans, emails where he bragged about taking over. The community center's lights glowed in my mind, a promise kept. Nathan thought he could scare me, but I was Eleanor, not his pawn. The farmhouse's field swayed in the breeze, whispering my strength. I'd fight not for hate, but for love. Miss Harper prepared for Nathan's challenge, her office a fortress of files. "He's claiming undue influence," she said, "but your evidence is strong." I showed her my records. $30,000 lent to Nathan. His emails planning to sell the farm. She nodded. He's got nothing. I spent days at the center, helping paint a mural with Lila and Max. Their laughter filled the cracks Nathan left. Clara showed me plans for the farm, a community garden, art classes, a library. This is your legacy, she said. I smiled, thinking of Tom. Nathan texted, "Meet me, Mom. Let's fix this." I agreed, curious. At a diner, he looked tired, his charm gone. "Give me half," he said. I shook my head. "You chose this." He left, his coffee untouched. Back home, I found a letter from Tom, written before he died. "Eleanor, you're my strength." I cried, holding it. The farmhouse's walls held me close, its warmth my anchor. Nathan thought he could bully me, but I was building something bigger. The center's kids were my future, not his greed. The night air was crisp, my resolve sharper. He'd learn soon. The hearing was in a week, and I was ready. Ms. Harper and I reviewed every document, bank statements, Nathan's emails, my loans to him. "He's got no case," she said. I nodded, but my heart raced. Nathan wasn't fighting for me. He was fighting for money. I visited the center, where Lila showed me her new sketchbook funded by early donations. "You're my hero," she said. I hugged her, my throat tight. At home, I sorted more antiques for the center, Tom's carvings, my grandmother's vase. Each piece was a promise to the kids. Nathan called, his voice low. "Drop this, Mom. You're embarrassing me." I laughed. "You embarrassed yourself." He hung up and I felt free. I invited the town to the hearing, wanting witnesses. Clara spread the word, and the kids made signs. "Thank you, Eleanor." The farmhouse smelled of cedar, grounding me. Nathan thought he'd win by shouting, but I had truth, quiet, unshakable. The fields outside glowed under moonlight, whispering Mom's courage. I wasn't just fighting for the kids. I was fighting for me, for the Eleanor he'd tried to erase. The courtroom was small, the air heavy with whispers. Nathan sat across from me, his lawyer, Mr. Vance, flipping papers nervously. Ms. Harper stood tall, presenting my evidence, the will, my loans to Nathan, his emails plotting to sell the farm. I testified, my voice clear. Nathan assumed he'd take everything. He didn't ask, he demanded. The judge, Mr. Ellis, listened, his face stern. Nathan's lawyer claimed I was confused, but Ms. Harper countered with my bank records, showing my clarity. The room hushed as she read Nathan's email, Mom's old. "I'll sell the farm soon." The judge's eyes narrowed. Nathan stared at the floor. Mr. Ellis ruled. The will stood, Nathan's claim dismissed. The crowd cheered softly, Clara squeezing my hand. Nathan left without a word. Outside, Lila hugged me, her sign bright. "Eleanor's our hero." I smiled, my heart full. The farmhouse waited, but the center was my home now. I'd won not for revenge, but for the kids, for Tom, for me. The town's trees rustled, celebrating with me. Nathan's shadow was gone, and my light shone brighter than ever. I drove to the center after the hearing, Clara and the kids waiting. Lila ran up, her arms wide. "You did it," she said. I hugged her, tears falling. We celebrated with cookies, the kids' laughter louder than Nathan's silence. Clara showed me plans, a garden on the farm named Eleanor's Field. My heart swelled. Back home, I found Nathan's old baseball glove, a relic of when he'd cheered for me at games. I set it aside, not angry, just done. Miss Harper called, Nathan's out of moves. I nodded, relief washing over me. The town buzzed, my story spreading. A neighbor posted a video online showing the hearing's end, my smile as Lila hugged me. It went viral, thousands commenting, she's a legend. Those kids are lucky. I didn't watch much. I was busy packing antiques for the center. The farmhouse felt alive again, its walls warm with purpose. Nathan thought he could take my legacy, but I'd given it to those who needed it. The stars outside shone, bright as the kids' futures. I was Eleanor, and I'd chosen my path, one Nathan couldn't touch. The viral video hit 1 million views in days. Comments poured in, Eleanor's a hero. She showed him. Strangers sent messages, sharing their own stories of family greed. I read them, my heart heavy but proud. Nathan emailed, Mom, this is humiliating. Let's talk. I didn't reply. I was at the center, helping Max build a bookshelf. He grinned, hammering nails. This is yours, he said. I shook my head. It's ours. Clara showed me the farm's deed, now in the center's name. We'll start the garden next month, she said. I pictured kids planting seeds like Tom and I used to. At home, I found a letter from my mother tucked in an antique book. Eleanor, your heart is your guide. I cried, holding it. Nathan's betrayal had sparked this, but the kids' smiles fueled me. I packed more antiques, a clock, a quilt for the center's auction. The farmhouse's porch creaked, its warmth my strength. Nathan thought he could shame me, but I was building a legacy. The town's lights glowed, alive with my fight. I wasn't just a mother. I was Eleanor, and I was unstoppable. I started the garden plans with Clara, sketching rows of sunflowers and carrots. Lila helped, her ideas bright. Can we name a flower after you? She asked. I laughed. Call it Anna for my mom. The center was thriving. New books, easels, a repaired roof, all from my gift. Nathan texted again, I'm sorry, Mom. Let me fix this. I deleted it. He didn't get to rewrite this story. Ms. Harper sent papers, finalizing the estate transfer. The farm, $100,000, the antiques, all the centers now. I found Nathan's old teddy bear in a closet, its eyes worn. I'd sewn it when he was 5. My heart ached, but I set it aside. The viral video hit 3 million views, comments calling me the grandma who fought back. I didn't care about fame. I cared about Max's books, Lila's paints. At the center, kids made me a banner. Eleanor's our star. I cried, hugging them. The farmhouse felt quiet, but the center was alive. Nathan's greed had lost, and my love had won. The fields outside whispered Tom's voice, proud and steady. The garden broke ground, kids digging with tiny shovels. Lila planted the first sunflower, naming it Anna. I stood with Clara, watching, my heart full. The center's auction was next week. my antique set to raise thousands. A news crew came, filming the garden. Local woman gives estate to kids, they said. The video hit 5 million views, comments flooding. Eleanor's a queen. I smiled but stayed quiet, letting the kids shine. Nathan called, his voice broken. I'm broke, Mom. Help me. I paused. You made your choice, I said, hanging up. I found a photo of him at 10, helping me bake. That boy was gone. I packed it away, my heart steady. Miss Harper confirmed the estate was secure. No more challenges. The center's library opened, named after Tom. Max read there daily, his smile my reward. The farmhouse was empty now. My things moved to a small apartment near the center. Its walls were bare, but my life was full. Nathan's shadow faded, and the kids' laughter lit my way. The town's lights glowed, my legacy bright. I was Eleanor, and I'd won. The auction was a success, raising $20,000 for the center. Clara hugged me, tears in her eyes. This is life-changing, she said. Kids swarmed, showing me new art supplies. Lila's painting, a farmhouse with sunflowers, hung in my apartment. I framed it, my heart warm. The viral story hit 7 million views. Strangers donating to the center. You inspired us, one wrote. I read their messages, grateful but focused. Nathan sent a letter, handwritten, apologizing. I was wrong, Mom. I read it, then set it aside. Forgiveness wasn't ready yet. I spent days at the center, teaching kids to carve like Tom. Max made a tiny horse, proud as anything. I found another letter from Tom in an antique desk. Eleanor, you're my forever. I cried, holding it close. The center's garden bloomed, kids tending it daily. My apartment was small, but it felt like home. Photos, Lila's art, Tom's letters. The town buzzed, my story spreading. Nathan's greed had sparked this, but the kids' futures were my fire. I wasn't just a mother. I was Eleanor, building hope. The stars outside shone, bright as my purpose. I started a scholarship fund at the center named Tom's Dream for kids like Lila and Max to go to college. Clara cried, announcing it to the kids. Eleanor's giving you a future, she said. They cheered, Max hugging me tight. The garden was thriving, sunflowers tall, kids laughing as they worked. The viral video hit 10 million, news outlets calling for interviews. I said no, letting the center shine. Nathan texted, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm changing. I didn't reply. I was busy teaching Lila to sketch, her lines bold like mine once were. At my apartment, I found a photo of Nathan and me planting seeds together. My heart ached, but I'd chosen. Miss Harper called, the center's secure forever. I smiled, relief washing over me. The farmhouse was theirs now, a place for kids to grow. My life was full, teaching, carving, loving these kids. The town's lights glowed, my legacy alive. Nathan's betrayal was a spark, but the center was my flame. I was Eleanor, not his pawn, and my heart was with the kids, shining brighter every day. The scholarship fund grew. Strangers donating after the viral story hit 12 million views. Comments called me the mom who changed lives. I didn't read them much. I was at the center, helping Max write a story. His grin was my reward. Clara showed me the library's new shelves, packed with books. "This is you," she said. I shook my head. "It's Tom, it's the kids." Nathan sent another letter, begging to meet. I agreed, curious. At a cafe, he looked small, his suit wrinkled. "I'm sorry, Mom. I was wrong." I nodded. "I know, but actions have consequences." He left, head low. I found a note from my mother in an antique locket. "Eleanor, your love is your strength." I wore it, my heart steady. The center's garden was a sea of color, kids planting more. My apartment was home, Lila's art, Tom's letters, my carvings. The town sparkled, alive with my fight. Nathan's greed had faded, but my purpose burned. I was Eleanor, giving kids a future, honoring Tom and Mom. The center sign glowed, my legacy bright, and I wasn't done yet. The center threw a festival, celebrating the garden and library. Kids danced, Lila leading a conga line, her laughter bright. I stood with Clara, watching, my heart full. "You've changed everything," she said. I smiled. The kids did. The viral story hit 15 million. Donations pouring in, new computers, a music room. Strangers wrote, "You gave me hope." I answered some, grateful. Nathan emailed, asking to help at the center. I didn't reply. He'd had his chance. I found a photo of him as a teen, helping me paint the farmhouse. I set it aside, my heart calm. Miss Harper confirmed the scholarships were funded for years. I taught carving daily. Max's horse is improving. My apartment was alive. Art, laughter, love. The town streets glowed, my legacy growing. Nathan's betrayal was a memory, replaced by kids' smiles. I walked the garden, sunflowers swaying, Lila's hand in mine. I was Eleanor, not just a mother, but a light for these kids, for Tom, for me. The stars above shone, bright as my purpose, and I knew I'd keep going for them, forever. A year later, the center was a beacon, new dorms, art classes, a playground, all from my gift and donations. Lila's paintings hung in a local gallery, her smile shy but proud. "You taught me," she said. I hugged her, tears falling. The scholarship fund sent Max to art school, his letters full of thanks. The viral story hit 20 million, inspiring a documentary. I said no to cameras. I wanted the kids to shine. Nathan wrote again, volunteering at a shelter now, trying to change. I read it, felt a flicker of hope, but didn't reply. My heart was with the center. I found Tom's last letter in a carved box. "Eleanor, you're my home." I wore the locket, my mother's words close. My apartment was full. Art, kids' visits, love. The town's lights danced, my legacy alive. Nathan's greed had sparked this, but the kids' futures were my fire. I wasn't just Eleanor. I was their hero, Tom's love, Mom's daughter. The center's garden bloomed, sunflowers tall, and I walked among them, my heart bright, my purpose clear. The documentary aired, focusing on the center, not me. Kids like Lila and Max told their stories, their voices strong. It hit millions online, comments calling the center Eleanor's miracle. I watched with Clara, tears in our eyes. The garden was a community hub now, families planting together. I taught carving weekly, Max's horses now small masterpieces. Scholarships grew, 10 more kids funded. Nathan sent a letter saying he donated to a charity. I'm trying, Mom. I wrote back, keep going. It wasn't forgiveness, but a door cracked open. I found a sketch I'd drawn with Nathan, age 5, stick figures under a tree. My heart ached, but I hung it up. My apartment was a gallery. Lila's art, Max's carvings, Tom's letters. The town glowed, my legacy bright. The center sign was repainted, bold and proud. Nathan's betrayal was a shadow fading fast. I was Eleanor, building hope, honoring love. The fields outside whispered Tom's voice, guiding me. I walked the garden, kids laughing, and knew I'd done more than win. I'd created something eternal. The center's playground opened, kids swinging under a bright sky. Lila pushed Max, their laughter echoing. Clara hugged me. This is your heart, she said. I smiled. It's theirs. The documentary hit 25 million views, donations flooding, new instruments, a theater program. Strangers wrote, "You changed my life." I read them, grateful, but stayed with the kids. Nathan visited the center, volunteering quietly. I watched from afar, his hands gentle with a boy's painting. He looked at me, hopeful. I nodded, a small step. At home, I found a photo of Nathan and Tom fishing by the creek. I framed it, my heart softening. The scholarship sent Lila to college, her letters full of dreams. My apartment was alive. Art, laughter, Tom's love. The town sparkled, my legacy growing. Nathan's greed was gone, replaced by kids' futures. I walked the garden, sunflowers tall, my locket warm against my chest. I was Eleanor, not just a mother, but a light for these kids, for Tom, for me. The stars shone, bright as my purpose, and I knew I'd keep shining always.